The season's over, and just like clockwork, the debates around him have flared up once again. Some people are praising the leadership, others are shaking their heads at the numbers, and the rest? Well, they're just confused. Because once again, we find ourselves trying to define success in a context that doesn't always make sense on paper. But let's talk about it. Let's really break this thing down and look at the full picture. Not just the stats, but what actually happened on the court and what it all might mean for the future of this player and his team. First off, availability. That's one of the most underrated qualities in professional sports. And this year, he had it. 68 games. That might not sound like a lot for some players, but when you take into account his injury history and compare it to previous seasons, this was a big deal. It was his most active season in years. And for a team that's been riddled with lineup inconsistency, that mattered. He was there. He suited up. And that alone gave the coaching staff some level of stability to work with. Now let's get into the shooting. That's where things get a little more complicated, because on one hand, you can look at his three-point percentage, 32%, and immediately raise an eyebrow. It's a noticeable drop, and there were moments where it felt like he just couldn't buy a bucket. But here's the thing, he was actually shooting more from deep than he has in a long time. We're talking 1 to 3 attempts per game, which he hasn't done consistently since all the way back in 2018. So yes, the percentage dropped, but the volume increased, and with that, the rhythm changed. That's something to consider. Historically, his best shooting season was way back in 2015, 2016, when he hit 38% from beyond the arc. That season was a career outlier though, a peak, and no one's pretending he was going to replicate that. But compared to recent years, he was clearly more willing to take those shots this season, even if the results didn't always follow. And honestly, that willingness might be more important than the numbers themselves, because it changes how defenses play you. When you're a non-shooter, defenders sag off. They clog the lane. They dare you to shoot. But when you start pulling up, even if you're not hitting at a high clip, it forces teams to adjust. And there were games where you could see that impact, especially when he hit those corner threes or caught fire from the top of the arc in clutch moments. He had outings where he went 2 for 6, 3 for 5. Not eye-popping, but enough to force defenders to pay attention. That creates space. That creates gravity, and that has value. Of course, he also had games where he didn't score a single point, and yeah, those nights happen more often than you'd want. But when you step back and look at the whole season, it feels like his impact on the game was bigger than the box score might suggest. And when it comes to free throws, we saw another dip. He shot 68% from the line, which is just under his career average. Not a disaster, but not exactly confidence-inspiring either. It's one of those areas where you expect a veteran to be more consistent, especially late in games. But in terms of volume, he got to the line often enough, and that aggressiveness is something you can build on. Rebounding, that's a tricky one. His numbers were down, and considering how often he was playing the 5, that stood out. Earlier in his career, he was averaging around 7 rebounds a game, and now that total has slid considerably. Part of that might be scheme. Smaller lineups, more spacing, more perimeter play. But part of it is also just a matter of physicality. He's not the same rebounder he once was, and that's hard to ignore. Still, you gotta give credit where it's due. He was active. He competed. He was on the floor. That in itself was a shift from the previous years where you'd see him miss stretches with injuries or suspensions. This time around, apart from a few minor setbacks, he was consistently available. There were a couple of flagrant fouls, a few technicals, nothing out of the ordinary for him, but none of it escalated to the point where it hurt the team. That's growth, that's control, and that's leadership. Now let's talk assists. That's where he really continues to shine. He averaged 5.6 dimes per game, showing his ability to orchestrate the offense, get guys involved, and read the floor. His vision remains elite, and his willingness to move the ball, even when his own shot isn't falling, kept the offense flowing. Add in 1.5 steals per game, and you start to see the complete picture. He's not just a scorer or a passer or a defender. He's a guy who contributes in multiple ways, even when the headline numbers don't always reflect it. Scoring-wise, he averaged 9 points per game, most of which came from beyond the arc. That's one of his best scoring outputs since 2. 2017, 2018. And while 9 points per game won't land you on any all-star ballots, it's still a solid contribution for someone who wasn't always expected to carry the offense. And with the amount of mileage he has on his legs, that's nothing to scoff at. But here's the big question, the one everyone keeps circling back to. Was this season a success? Statistically, you could argue it was a step down. The shooting percentages dipped. The rebounding took a hit, and he didn't put up gaudy numbers in any one category. But if you factor in the availability, the leadership, and the consistency, you start to see a different story. He was a steady presence in a chaotic season. He showed up, he fought, he helped carry the team through tough stretches, especially when other guys were out. And that leads us to the exit interviews. He spoke candidly, he reflected, he pointed out the obvious. Injuries played a huge role in how the season unfolded. Teammates went down, lineups changed constantly. And he truly believes, and honestly, it's hard to disagree, that if a few of those guys had stayed healthy, they could have gone deeper, maybe even to the finals, maybe even taken it all. But that's the thing about sports. It's all maybe. You'll never know. A lot of teams have won titles thanks to key injuries on the other side. It happens. That's the game. And he acknowledged that. He didn't make excuses. He said straight up, injuries are part of the deal. Sometimes you benefit from them. Sometimes they crush your dreams, but you can't hang your hat on hypotheticals. You move forward. You learn. You grow. That's the only way to survive in this league. He also touched on the need for a true center. That was a recurring theme throughout the year. He had to play the 5 more than expected, and while he held his own, especially in that playoff series where he battled legit bigs and still managed to control the paint, it's not a sustainable model. He's in his early 30s. He's giving you 35 to 37 minutes a night. He's grinding through the season without major injuries. That's already impressive. But you can't expect him to go up against 7-footers every night and keep that up year after year. He knows it. The team knows it. The numbers prove it. They need size. They need strength. They need a big man who can anchor the defense and clean up the boards. And with one of their longtime contributors no longer performing at the same level, that's a hole they absolutely have to fill this offseason. Whether it comes from free agency, a trade, or the draft, it has to happen. The good news? The hardest part might already be over. They made the big trade. They got the piece they were missing, that elite level talent who can take over games and lift the entire roster. That was the most difficult step in the rebuild, and they nailed it. Now it's about filling in the gaps, adding the right role players, developing the young guys, and staying healthy. Because let's be real, they got bounced in the second round. Doesn't matter how it happened or what the circumstances were, they lost. And that means they've still got work to do. There's always been a difference between regular season success and playoff dominance. Some players light it up for 82 games and disappear in May. Others coast through the year and turn into monsters when the lights get bright. This team, they were in survival mode from February onward. It was playoff intensity every night just to stay afloat. That kind of grind wears on you. Mentally, physically, emotionally. And it showed. In the end, veterans playing heavy minutes. No time for rest. Every game felt like a must-win. That's not the path to a title. That's desperation. And they all know it. The goal isn't just to finish strong, it's to start strong, stay consistent, and position yourself for a deep run without having to fight for your life every night. The hope is real. The potential is real. And as long as the front office makes the right moves, there's still a window here, a real one. But it starts with acknowledging what went wrong, what needs to change, and how to evolve in a league that never stands still. Because if there's one thing this season taught us, it's that stability matters, depth matters. And being able to survive the grind, not just physically but mentally, is the true mark of a contender. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Rumors are swirling around the Golden State Warriors as whispers emerge about the possible departure of their longtime head coach Steve Kerr. This speculation has sent shockwaves through the NBA community, fans and analysts alike, igniting intense debate about what such a move could mean for one of the league's most successful franchises in recent history. Steve Kerr, who has been at the helm of the Warriors since 2014, has led the team through an era of dominance that reshaped the NBA landscape. Under his guidance, Golden State secured 3 NBA championships and made 5 finals appearances, establishing a dynasty built on a revolutionary style of play centered around pace, space, and three-point shooting. Kerr's coaching philosophy and leadership have not only brought victories but also transformed the Warriors into a model franchise, admired for its teamwork, resilience, and culture. The rumors of Kerr's potential exit come amid a season filled with challenges. The Warriors have faced injury setbacks, roster adjustments, and fluctuating performance levels that have sparked questions about the team's direction. While Kerr remains widely respected for his tactical acumen and player management, some insiders suggest that differences in vision between him and the front office could be contributing to the uncertainty. The details remain unclear, but speculation about a possible coaching change has grown louder in recent weeks. Fans have reacted with mixed emotions. Many express concern over losing a coach who has been integral to the Warriors' identity and success. Kerr's calm demeanor and ability to manage superstar egos have been key components of the team's chemistry. His departure could lead to a period of instability as the franchise seeks to maintain its competitive edge in a rapidly evolving league. On the other hand, some see this as an opportunity for the Warriors to refresh their approach, potentially bringing in new ideas that align better with the current roster and future plans. NBA analysts are weighing in as well, discussing what the coaching vacancy might mean for the Warriors' immediate prospects and long-term strategy. Would the team prioritize a coach with a similar offensive philosophy, or might they opt for a more defensive-minded leader? How would such a change impact star players like Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, who have flourished under Kerr's system? These questions remain open as the Warriors organization remains tight-lipped, refusing to confirm or deny the rumors. Steve Kerr's legacy with the Warriors is already cemented in basketball history, but this rumored departure underscores the unpredictable nature of professional sports. Coaching changes can alter the trajectory of a franchise, for better or worse, and the coming weeks will be crucial for Golden State's future. Whether Kerr stays or goes, the Warriors face a pivotal moment as they aim to reclaim their place among the NBA elite in the seasons ahead. Fans and pundits alike will be watching closely, eager to see how this story unfolds. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.